Nada. I'm getting nothing out of you, Mike. Still nothing. Nope. Nah, nothing. Still quiet on your end.
Hi.
There you are.
All right, cool. All right. Glad you can. Everything's okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right, good.
All right, I'm gonna run out really quick, grab a beer, grab a smoke.
All right, do that. I got to get our title card ready.
All right, sounds good. I'll be
All
back.
right, cool.
All right.
So I have copious notes.
I bet you do.
I have a lot.
Well, there was a lot that went on in this episode, but it really boils down to like two major points in this episode.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Ready?
I got to think of a joke. Hold on. We just need a punchline with marmalade in it. All right, I got it. All right, 4, 3, 2. And then the girl comes in and she's covered in marmalade.
That is sick, man.
It was sick. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Where's Carl here on the Monkey Caviar Podcast Network. I'm Tiny, your host. With me, as always, my sidekick in danger, Adam Levy. Adam, how are you this evening?
I am great, Mike. How you doing?
I feel good. I feel no headache.
Lucky you. That was me all day today.
No Excedrin needed over here. Felt pretty good.
Yeah, I
was worried about the episode.
Yeah, I kept getting woken up in the middle of the night by thunder rattling my house.
Thunder in California?
Yeah, I know. Crazy, huh?
Right? That usually happens here.
Yeah. Yeah, 4:30 in the morning, my room's shaking.
And that's got to feel like an earthquake.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, right? Because you're not used to that at all.
No, not in California.
So this is Where's Carl, where we're going to talk about The Walking Dead. We're going to specifically last night's premiere episode, and woo! What an episode it was.
Man, that was tough. That was a tough hour of TV to watch.
It was rough. It was so hard.
It was. And they didn't help anything by making you wait 20 minutes to find out who it was that actually got to meet Lucille.
All right. So they open with Rick's eyes, and this becomes a theme throughout the episode, Rick's eyes.
Yes.
And when we see him, he's going to tell Negan that he's going to kill him.
Yeah, Rick is still that defiant, hard ass, leader of this group, and he thinks they're just in a little bit of a predicament right now. He has no idea what's in store for him.
I said his eyes are full of steel, vengeance. He looks powerful and angry, and he's looking so intense in the face of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is just smiling the whole time as Negan.
Man, I have never seen an actor play somebody this sadistic with this much glee. I mean, he looked like he was enjoying the shit out of this part.
James Gandolfini in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
There were some scenes where the violence really went crazy, and you could see the glee in the character, and I think that's exactly the same. I hope our hair star is equally as sadistic.
Yeah.
So no, they don't open right away with the answer we're all looking for. But first, Negan has to break Rick down. And that's a big bottle you got there, sir.
It certainly is. Some black and blue hard cider.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I went with Orange Crush.
Nice.
Wasn't feeling beery today.
Well, yeah, I figure we're mourning tonight, so
we are mourning a little bit, yeah.
This is our wake.
So Rick takes him into the old RV and drops the axe on the table and says, "Look, man, here's your shot. Take it." And what he says, I wrote it down. It says, "Keep acting tough. Go ahead."
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Negan is just toying with Rick. Negan's a cat, Rick's a mouse, and he is just having fun with him.
He's breaking him down. I mean, it's a gradual breakdown throughout the episode, and by the time we get to the end, the eyes are totally changed.
Yeah. And I honestly thought at this point in the RV, Rick was going to lose a hand.
I did too.
That one part where Negan's got him on the floor. He grabs the axe and slams it down on the floor. I'm thinking, oh shit, there goes Rick's hand.
I thought the same thing. And again, later in the episode, I thought Rick was going to lose a hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go out in the dawn, early morning, and Negan takes the axe and he chucks it on top of the RV underneath the underpass, surrounded by walkers, and he's, "Go get my axe."
Yeah.
I like that. I like the power in that scene where it's like,
well, I mean, this kind of goes back to the whole thing with, whatever you own is ours. This is mine. You had this axe, it's my axe now.
Right.
And
this is Negan proving that Rick is really his.
Yeah. I mean, Negan didn't need an axe. Negan had Lucille. He had an assault rifle with him. He's got, who knows how much shit back at his compound. All of his guys are well armed. He doesn't need an axe, but it's the principle of the whole thing. It's like, what you have is mine. This is a completely different world that you're in now.
This is our first big break from the comic book, and that Negan never shows a gun that early.
No. And I don't remember him taking Rick on a little journey
trip. No, he didn't. I read through it today, and the things that are covered in the RV are just covered in a different place.
Yeah.
So that's all they did, and so he fights his way out. He pushes him out of the RV, kind of kicks him out, and Rick fights his way, gets on top. Yeah, and he gets on top of the RV, and now he's going to have a little break from reality. All the while, as they're traveling, we're getting these awesome tension-building flashes of everyone in the group, like in different states of their story. And I wanted to know so bad right away.
Yeah, but I mean,
everybody else, I was like, I just want to know. Just give me it right now. Just give me it right now. And I'm glad they took a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to give it to you right away.
I know, and I'm glad they didn't wait till the very end of the episode, because that would
have really sucked.
Yeah, that would have been horrible if I had no time to process that. So Rick gets on the roof and he flashes back, and turns out we got us a doubleheader.
Well, not right away, but we got the first act, first game of the doubleheader shortly after Rick.
The first act of the doubleheader was called by yours truly on this very podcast.
Yeah.
It would be Abraham. It was Abraham.
Actually, for all the reasons. It almost wasn't.
What do you mean it almost wasn't?
They shot a different death scene for that first scene.
Do tell.
Maggie was they were going to kill Maggie off.
Okay, well, during the course of Rick fighting with the walkers as he's trying to get back into the RV.
No, there's actually a video of.
Hold on. He flashes on everyone getting a crack by Lucille, and it's possible they shot everyone.
Maybe, but somebody leaked the video of Maggie's death scene at the hands of Negan, and it was the whole first crack upside the head, and he gives her you took that like a champ. And she sits back up, and she's got blood pouring out of her mouth, and she screams something at him, and then he just goes to town on her head.
Was it suck my balls?
She didn't say suck my balls, or suck my nuts.
I'm sorry, suck my nuts.
No, she didn't say. I don't remember what it was she said. The video was pretty bad, but it was the same thing that happened to Abraham happening to Maggie. And yeah, maybe they did shoot that scene for every character just to keep everybody on their toes.
Right. Like, I mean, because obviously they put the shots in there of everybody taking a crack. So if I'm there and I'm the director and I want to keep this a secret, I don't tell them which one of them it is.
Yeah,
I take them all out.
Well, I think the only one that knew for sure that they were going was the second death.
Yeah, I believe he knew. I was surprised by that one, but let's start with Abraham. I thought it made sense for Negan to take Abraham out.
Yeah.
Abraham was the only one that raised up at him.
Well, I don't.
He was doing this whole walkthrough. Abraham was the only one that put his head up when Negan came by him.
See, I think that was just that more speaks to Abraham's character. I mean, Abraham was.
I do.
Abraham was always that proud. He was a soldier. He didn't back down from nothing. Even in the worst of situations. The first time they met Negan, when him and Sasha and Daryl were coming back, and they encountered that group on the road. Even still, he is not going to kowtow to these guys. He was not going to have any of their shit. So when they're being when they're facing Negan and he gets them all on their knees, he's not going to cower like everybody else. He's going to stand up strong, and he's going to show that he's not afraid of this guy.
Right, and from Negan's point of view, it makes sense that he takes the crack.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
if you're going to subjugate a group of people and make them your slaves, basically, you want the strongest ones hurt. Or
it's like out. Prison. It's like prison rules. You find the biggest guy there, and you make him your bitch.
Right. Punch him in the mouth.
And it's even going back to the whole thing with Rick's right hand man. Who's your right hand man? in looking at that lineup, Abraham fits that description. He's the strongest looking one there. He's the one that's that's acting defiant and acting hard in all this situation.
And he was the man to his right.
Exactly.
So, I don't know if that matters really, but
no. But yeah, I mean, and also Abraham had died previously in the book, so taking him out here, it correlates with the story as it is in the comic books. The death was different. It happened at a different time, at a different place, but he wasn't around at this point in the story. So taking him out now. And the other thing is don't ever be happy in the show. When you find happiness, you get killed.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. The instant you start holding hands, bam, it's over.
He's talking about having babies and all this stuff, and boom, what happens? Takes a bat to the head.
Not meant to be.
Nope.
I had the pleasure of watching this episode on my computer with the headphones on.
Mm-hmm.
And the mush of every swing of Lucille was the most disturbing sound in my headphones.
I mean,
it was bad.
I gotta say, for as graphic as this show has been in the past with some of the things that they've shown, this is by far one of the most graphic things I have ever seen in this show.
Absolutely. 100%.
I mean,
when he sticks the bat in Rosita's face, it's gross.
Yeah. I mean, I've read a couple articles, people saying that this was way too gratuitous and way over the top. And it was, the show was awful for doing something like this. And it's like, you know what? Fuck that. I mean, this was what needed to happen. I mean,
yeah, this is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you want to show that this guy is, at this point in the story, he is evil incarnate as far as the group is concerned. And, if you just have him hit a guy in the head of the bat a couple times and leave him lying on the ground, that's one thing. But if you want to show him utterly just destroy somebody, that's how you do it.
Right? This is not the governor.
No.
Not at all.
He makes the governor look like a little schoolgirl.
Right. So Negan puts the bat in Rosita's face, and Daryl gets up and punches him in the mouth. And that's not good for Daryl.
No.
Interesting line. The most interesting line I think of the show is delivered right here when Dwight's got the crossbow and he's pointing it at Daryl, and Negan grabs Daryl by the hair and he says, "You don't kill that until you try a little." What the fuck does that mean?
That I'm not sure. And this again, this is all new stuff because since Daryl wasn't in the book, there was no character that was taken by Negan.
This paragraph right here says Daryl. It says Daryl. Since there is no Daryl in the comic, we don't know what goes on here. But Negan doesn't have a whole lot to do in the comics, so I'm sure it's just they're going to be inventive because really, after this first altercation, Negan disappears for a while in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, and if I was the showrunners, I'd want to give Jeffrey Dean Morgan as much screen time as possible because he is just killing this role.
I hope they don't go too far to the try it side.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're trying, but I don't like the sound of that.
No, anything involving Negan at this point does not sound good.
Yeah, no, and I just don't want that kind of. I don't know. I just imagine the bat is involved somehow, and I don't like it.
Maybe. I mean, this may be the beginning of the end for Daryl. We may see, but
possibly.
Yeah, I mean, this could be something that it could be further down the line. I mean, who knows if the survivors are ever going to rescue him, if he's ever going to get released by Negan. This may be his last interactions, maybe with Negan and the Saviors.
Could be. I don't think
somebody in the
be very happy with that.
A lot of people wouldn't know. I mean, it hurts when you take out the most popular character.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. We're gonna shut this shit down, and he is a man of his word, and he needs him to understand. So back at it, and he pops Glenn's fucking eye out, and I have to say this. It looks just like it does in the comic.
Yeah, it did. I mean, they The makeup department was spot on with this scene here.
The eye bulge looked perfect. We'll miss you, Glenn. We liked you, Glenn.
And give it up to Stephen Yeun for that really crazy death scene. I mean,
awesome,
man. The acting alone in that scene was just. I mean, he described it as he was glitching. His brain just got caved in, and he wasn't quite dead yet. And I mean, he was just twitching and just trying to say the one thing that came to mind,
which was Maggie, I'll find you.
I'll find you. Yeah, which is a callback to earlier. But yeah, as much as I hated to see Abraham go, seeing Glenn go was even more difficult. I mean, Glenn's one of the originals. Glenn's been there since episode 1. So seeing the original cast go is always going to be difficult.
After Abraham went down, did you lighten your guard? Did you let your guard down a little bit?
No.
You didn't think Glenn was gonna make it out of there?
Well, I knew somebody else was gonna go. I knew there was gonna be more than one death. When Daryl lashed out, I'm thinking, oh shit, they're not gonna take Daryl out, are they? But I was a bit surprised. I knew Glenn was an option still, but when he swung around and just caught Glenn in the forehead, I'm just like, oh shit, this is down. This is messed up.
That was awesome. Let's see, what was I going to say here? I love he walks away after the Glenn beating, and he walks towards the camera, and there's like bits of Glenn hanging off.
Yeah, there's still skin hanging off the bat. Yeah, and the whole thing is like, this is a vampire bat.
It's a vampire bat, right? She likes blood. And then it takes us right back to, was the joke that bad, which is where we started.
Yeah.
And so I'll miss Glenn. I like Glenn. I don't know what this does for Maggie. That worries me.
Well, you saw part of what it did to her at the very end of the episode.
It tears her apart a little bit.
No, I mean, she's, Rick's basically given up at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Right. She calls for blood.
She's the one. Yeah, we're going to war. Yeah. I mean, she is just, there's a fire in her belly. And it's not a baby. She wants Negan's head.
She does. And I liked, we'll get to the ending, but right here, after all this mayhem, we get one of the I don't know, I want to say funny, but I was watching it with Kristen, and she's like, why doesn't he just jump on that zombie that's hanging off of the bridge? And so he does, of course. And then the zombie's neck starts to stretch, and I was like, it kind of reminds me of the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Yeah, and again, and this goes to...
Go ahead.
What were you saying? I'll say this goes to the visual effects, the makeup. I mean, it's bad enough that we saw 2 people get their heads bashed in. Now we're seeing a zombie get his head ripped off by a guy hanging from him that's hanging from a chain. I mean, the show has never skimped out on the gore, but it was never there to shock. It was never like horror films nowadays where it's all about shock value in that story. The gore in this is it's used sporadically in great moments, and this is just another one of those scenes where it's like, okay, Rick thinks he may have found a way to kind of get around, but no, zombie physics, working against him.
So right here, they do a really clever thing where they, Negan says something about, be careful to pay attention to what did happen and what could happen. And if you missed the could happen, then watching Rosita take Lucille is quite jarring.
Yeah.
I first watched through, I didn't hear it. I had the volume pretty low, and all of a sudden I see Rosita go, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, that's horrible. And then I see Eugene, and I'm like, holy crap, are they just like clearing out the checkbook? Like, are they just like, new cast?
Yeah.
It was about Michonne when I realized that, okay, there's something amiss, because they're certainly not killing Michonne, Daryl, and Carl. So, yeah, that's when I was like, all right, back to reality. Rick gets back in the RV, and they head back for his final breaking point.
Yeah, I mean, after all of this, after seeing two of his friends, get beaten to death, and this incident with, getting thrown out of an RV in front of, into a pack of zombies just to get an axe, he's still, he's still not what Negan wants. Negan has not broken him yet. I mean, Rick's a tough guy. We've seen 6 seasons of Rick being a badass, and progressively getting more and more badass. You figure it's going to take a lot more than just killing a couple of your friends to break a guy like Rick. And
I agree.
Negan has absolutely no problem, just doing whatever he's got to do to get this guy.
So here's another opportunity for Rick to lose a hand. Again, it looks like he's going to lose his hand. He doesn't. He cleans the axe off. Well, I love that, with the rubbing alcohol. Like, cleans it all off and gives it back to him. Like, here, you're gonna need this shit. I love that. The guy is aces Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Absolutely.
And here's the thing: when he gave it back to him, I'm thinking, oh, you're gonna need this because you're gonna have to fight zombies out of when you get back. Exactly. I didn't realize. I wasn't expecting what came next.
No. So he drags him out in front of everybody, and he asks him what their trip was all about. And it turns out Negan doesn't like the way Rick looks at him.
He still doesn't like the way Rick's looking at him.
Yeah. Michonne gets it. Michonne's like, no, we're good. We're good. But no. So he gets to play the grand prize game.
Yeah.
Which was to decide whether today was just going to be another crappy day or if today was going to be the last crappy day. Those are not good choices.
No. And again, the entire time, Negan's just smiling through all of this. Negan doesn't give a shit. If he has to kill all these people, he doesn't really want to, but he will, because if he loses them all, it's not going to make any difference to him.
Not really, because he's going to go back to Alexandria and round up everybody that's there and put them to work.
Yeah.
That would be his plan.
Yeah.
So he whips off the belt and calls Carl over and puts tourniquet on Carl, and a nice little interaction where he asks, does this hurt? And he says, no, it's supposed to.
It's Carl. Carl being a future badass.
Carl, the future serial killer. This drops him on the ground, spread eagle. Luckily, Simon carries around a Sharpie because he's a fucking superstar.
Well, because you need Sharpies in the post-apocalyptic world.
What do you need a Sharpie for?
I don't know.
Like, hey, do you got a pen? And this guy's like, Sharpie, what color do you want? This guy's
you want fine tip, you want fat tip, you want the frilly fat tip.
So they mark out, Negan marks out on Carl's arm a nice straight line, and Rick starts with the begging and the pleading.
I love what Negan says as he's drawing the line. He's like, this is gonna be colder than a Warlock's nutsack.
He also says, he says, please don't do this. He says, me? I'm not doing shit. So he's going to make Rick cut off Carl's arm.
Yeah.
And Carl just like, just do it. Just get it over. Just do it.
Well, yeah, when it's getting down to like the very end, when Negan starts counting and Carl just looks at him, he's like, just do it. Carl knows.
I liked it. It was the way Carl said it. It was kind of defeatist, just like it's my left arm. Go ahead. I can do that.
I'm a righty, anyways, right?
All right. Well, you did ask. I mean, that was nice of him.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Carl, being the son of Rick, Carl knows that he's got to do what he can to help the group out, and if losing an arm is going to save the lives of like 7 other people, it's a small price to pay.
And it was a big gesture on his part.
Yeah, for being, like 14, 15 years old, he was willing to lose an arm just to save some lives.
But Negan stops Rick before he cuts the young lad's masturbating arm off.
Well, Rick was even offering his arm at this point. He's like, look, take mine. Just take it. Leave his.
Yeah, but that's not a good trade.
No. And that's not going to make the point that Negan was trying to make. It wasn't about...
Again, three allusions to Rick losing the hand.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this exercise wasn't to maim somebody. It was to teach Rick a lesson. This was Rick's breaking point. This is where. What were you saying?
I'm going to say, do you think true comic book fans really want to see Rick lose a hand?
Honestly, at this point, I don't know if it really matters. I mean, they've gone so far. They've gone so far past where it would have happened that at this point, if he does or doesn't, it's not going to change the story one iota.
All right. Well, we certainly didn't need Carl losing anymore. I mean, the kid's lost an eye. He's got shot. Carl has it bad. So I'm glad Carl didn't suffer.
But if he'd have pulled Eugene out there and said cut his arm off, we're gonna have been like, okay, fine, boom.
Yeah, go ahead. But it was Eugene. Yeah, sorry.
Negan knows the right cards to play. Negan knows, what's gonna cause the most damage to Rick.
Yeah, and that's obviously always going to be Carl, unless you have Judith there. I mean, but
yeah,
I don't know. Judith might be. She makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's true. Not good to take her out in the wild.
No, I mean it's interesting that as I was reading through the comic today, I went past where we are.
Okay,
not on purpose, but I certainly needed to get ahead of the story. For the comic book because of different characters and how the story goes like that.
Yeah.
So I read forward a few. I was going to say issues, but it turned out to be trades. Sorry,
that's okay.
So are we going to go through All Out War? Is probably where we're headed.
Yeah, eventually.
That 2-part trade paperback. It's a big, huge run of comics.
Yeah, it was 12 issues of story. It ran for an entire year. And
that's where we're headed. We all assume because of who we've seen in previews. We know Ezekiel is coming. We know the Kingdom is coming. The Kingdom is really it's kind of just like dropped on them in the books.
Yeah, they just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's no real build up to it. Like we've had a little bit of build up. We've seen a knight running, through a scene.
Yeah, the guys that found Morgan are from the Kingdom.
And Morgan's at the Kingdom, right? So we had a little more build up, and I think do you think we'll see Ezekiel before this mid-season break?
I think we see him next episode,
or at the mid-season.
I think we're going to see him next episode.
Next episode,
I think so.
Really? All right.
We're gonna see him really soon. If not next episode, within the next couple episodes.
All right, that's what I wanted to get into because the comic, it really does move quickly to the Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's very quick from we'll be back next week to we're going to the Kingdom and we're going to start putting this together. So okay, good. So I'm glad I hope it starts. I want to see Ezekiel. I want to see Shiva.
Yeah.
I want to see the fucking tiger.
I want to see the tiger take out some zombies.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know about that, but I know where it goes with the tiger a little bit now.
Yeah.
And I want to see that. So anyway, I haven't gotten all the way through All Out War yet. So
see, my concern is I don't want them to rush through a story like this. I mean, this was one of the biggest storylines they've ever done in Walking Dead in the books. Like I said, the All Out War storyline was a year long, and this was months after they introduced Negan.
Right, I would assume that next season would be All Out War.
Well, I mean, maybe even start with in the second half of this season. You could even get the build-up going in the second half of the season. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see this whole Negan story resolved by the end of this season because that's just
no, not at all.
I think it's just a waste.
I don't think Negan will get back. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. All right. Let's keep talking about the episode.
Go for it.
So Negan's like, got Carl laid out, and he's not going to do shit. He's going to make Rick do it. He stops Rick, and Rick gets it now that he belongs to Negan. He is Negan's property.
Well, that's when Negan says, "That's the look. That's what I was looking for. That's the look I wanted to see."
So that's the look I wanted to see. I wrote it right there. He also gives out the Spirit Award to the two bodies on the headless bodies on the ground. Awesome use of the Spirit Award.
Man, because Negan's a dick, but Negan, I said, I cannot say enough for how great Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in this role. I mean, flawless. I don't think I can think of a better actor to play this part. I mean, you look at the comic book version, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan doesn't quite look like him, but man, does he embody the character.
He does. Absolutely. You were talking earlier in another episode, we talked about the size of Negan in the comic.
Yeah.
And weren't sure that Jeffrey Dean Morgan could pull that off because he's got a very slight frame.
Yeah.
But man, he is big in that jacket.
I mean, well, his personality makes him that big.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, he don't weigh 200 pounds.
No. Yeah, I mean, he's tall and I'd say he's toned, but I mean, Negan looked like a bit of a bodybuilder. He had that big old wide chest.
But you don't have to be big when you're using a baseball bat to knock a dude's skull clean off his head into mush.
Or when you have an army of people behind you, like.
But but you know what? Those guys didn't do much.
No, well, because this is all about Negan. I mean, but you look at the episodes before they introduced Negan. That the army was doing everything.
Well, Dwight's going to be important.
Dwight will be important. If they follow the books, he will have a very important, arc coming up.
What's going to go on with Dwight and Daryl and Negan is going to be some fun shit. I really do.
Well, yeah, because I've got no idea what they're going to do with this because, like I said, this is all brand new stuff.
Yeah, they can go crazy with that. So I really hope that. I hope they're vampires or shit. I don't care. I want there to be something really cool about it. So yeah, he says we'll be back in a week for the first offering. Until then, ta-ta. Word for word, straight out of the book.
Yeah.
They lift a lot of dialogue straight away for Negan.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of it.
Really that was the most logical choice. I mean, because Kirkman wrote some great dialogue for this character. And
no, full of fucks.
Yeah, they did have to tone it down a bit. And I was reading something else about, why is AMC afraid of using the F word? I mean, and I understand, yeah, they'd have to bleep it all out, but it wouldn't be the first time they've bleeped out an F-bomb on one of their shows. They did it in Breaking Bad a few times.
I think if it's used right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they can probably get away with just broadcasting it if it was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Basically, with "I want to fuck you," but they can get away with "oh fuck."
Yeah, basic cable is weird when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, they can use shit all day long, but like even in Breaking Bad, that was like they're 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. They still had to adhere to some of the broadcast standards. So Breaking Bad bleeped out just dropped sound on the dialogue at that point, but.
Well, I mean, maybe once we make America great again, we can get rid of the FCC and legalize marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, using one or two well-placed F-bombs and even bleeping them out would have just been great for this episode. I mean, you don't have to let Negan.
I really wanted fuckity fuck because that it's important. Where he says it, it's not. I'm going to beat the holy hell out of him. No. I'm gonna beat him the fuckity fuck. Yeah. And AMC, but a lot of shit. They said shit quite a few times. Drop that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, they don't have a problem using that word.
All right, before we get to the very end here, the bodies, headless bodies. Is it too much gore?
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, it wasn't gratuitous in the sense of like, hey, look at this guy just beating the shit out of somebody's head with a baseball bat. It was done just to show how vicious and savage this guy is, and this is how far he will go to prove his point that he will, it's not enough to kill somebody. I mean, he just had to destroy these people to prove his point. And honestly, if I was in that group, I wouldn't want to fuck with him after seeing him do that to one of my friends or two of my friends.
No, it was a productive day.
Yeah. I mean, he got his point across pretty strongly.
They load Daryl in the car. They just kind of all mill about and they all leave. Like Kaiser Soze, they all just walk away.
I mean, Negan was nice enough to leave them a truck so they can deliver his supplies. Because nice, he's magnanimous like that.
This group is devastating. Maggie, most of all. Right here. Maggie wants to fight, but Rick thinks they'll all die, which is totally possible.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a great shift in Maggie's character. I mean, you've seen Maggie become stronger throughout the course of the story. You know, even in Alexandria, she kind of took a little bit of a leadership role there, you know, after Deanna passed. But now, you know, after watching her husband, the father of her child, get bludgeoned to shit, you know, when Rick's like, all right, let's go. And she's like, no. It's like, yeah, this isn't going to stand. We're going to war. I mean, she is just, she has had an ass full of this. She is not going to take this lying down. And yeah, it's funny because you see Rick go from being this defiant leader to this broken pony, and the opposite happened to Maggie. You know, she looked kind of broken beforehand, and she gets back up and she's like, nope, this is not going to happen.
Right. The end of the episode is very hard to tell that Maggie was dealing with an illness.
Yeah.
I
almost forgot about that until the recap showed me that, like, oh yeah, she was having stomach pains. They were on the way to the hilltop to get her looked at.
To the hilltop. So, and that's where she's still going. She's going to take Glenn's body. She's going to go with Sasha, while the rest of the troop, it looks like, is going back to Alexandria.
Yeah.
Let's see what I say here. They said it. Shit, I can't read my own notes. All right, so then the last thing is the look in Rick's eyes. We get one more shot at it, and it's a very different look, full of fear, and he's scared and broken.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've seen Rick, you know, really defeated. I mean, even at the hands of the governor, you know, they had a strong position to defend themselves from, you know, before the tank comes crashing through. But even still, you know, Rick never felt threatened during this whole confrontation with the governor or with the people in Terminus. You know, yeah, they got put in a bad situation, but Rick was never beaten like this. He was never broken like what Negan did to him. I mean, Negan humiliated him in front of all of these people.
Without ever hitting him.
Yeah, never even laid a hand on him.
I mean, and the van and whatnot, but I mean, never hit him.
Yeah,
I mean,
in seven,
without physically destroying them, that's huge.
Yeah, in 6 seasons, we have never seen Rick suffer anything like this. I mean, even losing Lori, you know, he felt pain, but you know, he was able to suck it up and get back to, you know, leading the group in the prison.
Well, let's see. Lori, when Lori happened, he detached from reality and had phone calls that weren't there and shit.
He did, but he was still leading the group in between the phone calls. You know, he was still going out there and tending the fields and clearing the fence and stuff. You know, he didn't. You know,
he's far more busted right here with the thought that Negan could just bring Daryl by to slice an ear off at any moment.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's one of the clips from this season that they showed at the end of the episode. And I don't know what episode we're going to see this in, but it's Rick talking to the people left in Alexandria, and he's basically saying, "I'm not your leader anymore. Negan is." So I mean, you can see just how broken Rick is in that scene. I mean, Rick is just like, he's done. He's given up.
He will appear.
Yeah.
Rick never gives up. We know that.
No, I mean, something's going to happen that's going to bring Rick back around, you know, and I think Maggie's going to play a part of it because obviously she has grown a pair of balls after this confrontation with Negan.
And we have several characters now that we get to deal with that are not in the comics, so we don't know their stories. Carol, really interesting in this scenario.
Yeah, again, yeah, she was dead long before this point, so, you know, and
Morgan to deal with. Morgan,
yeah.
We don't know what's going to go on with Morgan too much. Carol and Morgan, quite a duo. They could probably take Negan down in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I want to see Carol and Morgan in a one-on-one match against Negan.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Morgan with this stick he's pretty deadly.
Yeah, well, all right.
I mean, he's got some speed.
First time Lucille gets swung through it.
Oh yeah. Well, then he's got 2 sticks. It's called improvisation. I mean, I think Morgan can deal with that.
Morgan is quick on this one. But Jeffrey, yeah, I mean, Morgan is spry. He's spry,
and he's got a powerful swing.
So what? Favorite favorite line or moment or anything that really stood out to you was just that made you laugh or anything?
Negan and the whole vampire bat bit with Lucille. I mean, just when he's swinging it around and like spraying blood on Rick's face. I mean, you could see how much he loves this bat. This is his best friend. This is his right hand man. Lucille is more than a bat to him. It's more than a weapon.
More. It is more.
Yeah.
If Lucille was possible, he'd have sex with that bat.
I'm sure he would.
I think he says it in the comments. Because I know I just read that.
There was a comment I heard on the radio this morning when they're talking about the Walking Dead, and somebody said that in the post-apocalyptic world, Negan's got the highest batting average.
That's nice. Oh man, dude. So I guess we can't really talk about what's to come without letting the episodes unfold as they do.
I mean, yeah, we can theorize about what we might see happening.
Have you watched any of the reaction videos on YouTube?
I have not. I haven't had a chance yet.
Oh, there's a couple of them that are great. There's one that's this guy just watching by himself, and he's like, what's he doing? He's standing too close to Glenn. He's got to move away from Glenn. Move away from Glenn. Oh, Glenn.
Well, it's like I love the Red Wedding reaction videos from Game of Thrones.
There's one. It's like three black people sitting on the couch, and like right after it, he's like, "No, man, no, I'm watching this show. No, I'm not watching it anymore." So yeah, they were great. There's a lot of crying.
Oh, there was.
There's a lot of people crying.
I mean, I caught part of the Talking Dead afterwards, and like Stephen Yun was in tears, with all the tributes and all the fans cheering for him and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta watch that still. I haven't watched it, but I don't like to watch podcasts or anything before I talk about it, because I don't want to steal somebody's something.
The best thing I saw, because I only watched a few minutes of it, but the best thing I saw was like Norman Reedus was talking about how Daryl feels responsible for Glenn's death because of him lashing out at Negan like he did. And so during the show, he's like, hold on, can I read something? And he pulls out a cell phone, and it's a text message from his son. And the text message read, "Not cool, Dad. Not cool." He's like, Glenn's dead because of you. So when Jeffrey's an asshole.
That's great.
Yeah.
I definitely want to watch that now.
Oh, and let me just say, Lauren Cohen looked hot in after the show. Oh man,
she's young.
She is, but I mean, the outfit she was wearing and everything. Oh man, she was gorgeous.
All right. Do you think we're gonna get some? We're gonna get some new characters soon besides King Ezekiel? We should get some Kingdom folk, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll get any like major characters, but I'm sure we'll get a handful of. I'm sure we'll get some other people from the Kingdom. They have to just. You can't just have Ezekiel and Shiva. Because
we need some red shirts. We need
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Crewman number 5.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Hilltop goes, we've got whatever the jackass that runs that, and Jesus. That's about it for
Gregory.
What? Yeah, Gregory. Yeah,
Gregory.
Yeah,
and Jesus.
Jesus, and then a bunch of other red shirts.
Yeah, a bunch of other red shirts. Yeah, and they're all coming. Yeah, so I guess next episode, I didn't see the next on. So does it show Ezekiel in the trailer?
Well, the preview that showed at the end of the episode was for the whole bits from the whole season, or at least the first half of the season. But I want to say there was a clip during Talking Dead that showed Carol arriving at the Kingdom.
All right, cool.
So I'm pretty sure we're getting the Kingdom next episode.
Carol.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Well, because